correct. Sorry for the little delay. We're here tonight at North Wilkesboro. Alongside me tonight is Will. Good evening, Will.
Good evening, Brian. How are you?
I am doing quite swell. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for asking. North Wilkesboro here in the books. Another nice short little track.
Oh, yes, North Wilkesboro. As we all know, or at least we should by now, we've been to it several times here in the B&R Racing Series, whether it be in the trucks. I think we've been here in Xfinity. Cup has been here a few times, and the 87s have been here a couple of times with the couple of different 87 series that we've had here. But yes, basically in the farm hills of North Carolina, kind of sits a short track, and it's a very incline light track. You kind of on one side of the race course you're going uphill, and on the other side you're going downhill. So that makes for getting in and out of the corners very tricky, especially whenever the elevation rises and decreases with you trying to brake or accelerate either in or out of these corners here. Not too much banking, but still enough, to let the car roll through the corner, Brian. As you know, so very historic track. A lot of history here, as we know in the real world counterpart. It just recently got a repave not too long ago. So when they come back here again, in the in in the present day, they will not have that bumpy old racing surface that I don't think it had been repaved until like the 70s. Sometime in the mid 70s was the last time that surface was repaved until, like we just alluded to, the repave.
Yes, sir. But the wonderful North Wilkesboro, where we've seen some racing on TV before. Um, Here in a little bit, well, we'll see these drivers grid up to get ready to take the green flag and put on a show here. Points are very tight for sure, absolutely. All right, well, there we go. I'll go over the starting grid real quick, and then we'll let you take it away. Oh, here we go. So P1 would be Jacob Carter, P2 would be Jeff Taylor, P3 would be Chris Campbell, P4 would be JP, P5 would be Josh, P6 would be Joe, P7 would be Caleb, P8 would be Tyler, and then P9 would be Matt. A short little field here, so they should be able to keep it under green here.
This is the penultimate race of the B&R 87 season here. This little, winter season that we had during the off season until racing season kind of kicked back up in full force. So North Wilkesboro here.
Next week.
Well, next week the season finale being at Michigan International Speedway. So hopefully a good test of these machines be the final race of the season at Michigan. So. Hopefully, this
run and see how long we can keep it green. And
yes,
coming out.
There we go. Get to hear some final words of encouragement by one of the fellow admins / drivers there, Josh Small. So, but yes, North Wilkesboro, very fun short track. It's so much momentum based, like we talked about. With it being slightly elevated at times, like we alluded to, the uphill, downhill parts. I believe turn one is, going uphill slightly, and then the back straightaway is going downhill into turn 3, and then you're coming back up the hill on the front straightaway, then you kind of swoop down into turn 1. So we've seen, like we've talked about, we've seen before how challenging North Wilkesboro can be in any type of car, whether it be the Truck Series, the Xfinity, or the Cup Series, the Gen 7 cars, even I believe we were here before with the Gen 6 cars, I do believe. So a second time of knowing that we are here with the 87, so looks like Jacob Carter qualified on the pole, leading them to the start. It's a bit of wheel spin on the initial start. We're going to see a lot of that this evening, depending on the cautions and how they fall. Drivers getting back to the throttle.
Yeah, but Jacob had a very good start, Will.
Yeah, everybody with a really good start except for Josh. Got a bit sideways coming off of the final corner and met the inside retaining wall, but I think he got it pointed back straight. He is on the end of the pack there, I do believe, so not too hard of an impact. I don't think he didn't come to a complete stop, but fairly good. Opening stanza here. They opening first few laps here in North Wilkesboro. Everybody trying to give enough space to one another.
Yep, you see the 12 there of Taylor, Jeff, and he got JP, and he got Caleb Sellner there. And right behind him is Joe Stipe and Tyler Myers. Josh is in the pits. You know, these cars are not, like today's cars. So there's a lot of prying on the wheel to get these cars to turn. Brakes don't
exactly.
work like they need to work. But eventually the grooves are going to change to where these drivers are going to have to change up where they run. So.
Yeah, North Wilkesboro normally can be a single lane track, but once you get enough rubber built up, you can run the outside here. You can make it most of the time a 2-lane track, depending on how well the rubber can get laid in here. These cars, like you alluded to, can be very, very tough to wrangle into the corners, also throughout. The steering box on these cars, very much smaller or shorter of a steering box than what was in the Gen 4 or Gen 6 cars, or even what is in today's Gen 7 Cup cars. So a lot more give and play in today's technology than what you're basically seeing here. So you may have to work that brake pedal a little bit more than what you would in a more modern race car. Some drivers compare, driving these cars like driving a boat. So that's one of the best terms in use when trying to manhandle one of these 87 era cars.
But I think these are the better cars, I would say, because just to get the original feel of a throwback car and how difficult it was back in the day, like your Earnhardt, your Kale, Yarbrough, and all of them were going through with trying to finesse the car a little bit.
See, I agree with you with all of that, but I also would like to see iRacing or a sim, it doesn't matter which sim, but preferably iRacing. I'd like to see them, try to get their hands on, say, like the Dodge Daytonas, Dodge Chargers, the Mercury Cyclones, or the Ford Gran Torinos, the Ford Talladegas. From the late 60s, to
Right.
mid 70s range, maybe even late 70s cars. Uh, that whole era of stock car was really, really cool. Um, so good battle between Caleb Shelton and Caleb Selner and uh, Jeff Taylor here
Yeah, they're giving
and
each other a little
Pearson.
room and respecting each other at the moment. But Will, how much time do you give the other driver before it's too much?
Well, you want to keep a decent gap or delta to that race leader. You don't want to let the race leader get too far ahead of you. North Wilkesboro, the lap times here can go by pretty quick, so you don't want to lose too much ground to that race leader. But at the moment, Jacob Carter's got about 4.5 seconds over the man in second place, who right now, that is Christopher Campbell. So it's a decent buffer at the moment for the race leader, but for the folks that are chasing him at the moment, they probably don't like how big of a lead he has.
But the problem is,
But everybody,
for how long can he keep that distance before Mr. Carter's tires start to drift away? They start
that's a good
slipping out
question.
from underneath of him to where Campbell and the rest of these guys are like, okay, well, Jacob's pushing hard, so I'm just going to sit back here and I'm going to preserve the most of my tires that I can get. But Caleb,
That's an
Caleb's a hard charger too as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a great question because Jacob was our pole sitter for tonight's race, and we've seen how he can have some good speed, long run, that longevity speed that you need, depending on the track. Track to track. North Wilkesboro may be one of those tracks where he can have that longevity. Ooh, contact being made going into turn one that lap between Campbell and Selner. So Campbell now, I hate to say, getting used up here as he's trying to still battle for a podium position, but just overdrove turn four there. Well, we got a car parked in turn three. Looks like he ricocheted. Looks like he's going to ricochet out of the inside retaining wall and wind up stopped basically in turn three. Caution is out. First time of asking here. Looks like the 9 of Tyler Myers getting up in front of Josh as Josh exited the corner. Josh kind of had the right of way. I feel he had that lane. He was there. So Myers just trying to do a slide job. That slide job was a bit just mistiming, misunfortunate there. Josh kind of throttles up and just gets into the back of the 9 of Myers. So sends Myers for a vicious hayride. Not sure if the 9 of Myers, if the car just bottomed out from underneath him, lost control, like in the center of the corner, kind of jumped up the track there, walked the dog in front of Josh, perhaps, if that's what kind of happened there, because it looked like he wasn't able to hold the bottom too well, and just kind of floats up in front of Josh here. So first caution of asking. I don't even think we hit the 25 lap mark yet, so we
No,
have...
sir, we didn't. But that would be your first caution, and I will have to agree with you. Josh had the preferred lane on the outside there, Will, so...
At least we got 10 laps in. We got a little bit into this race, before we saw the first caution of asking, I do have to say.
Yep.
We have seen them fly awful fast here at North Wilkesboro before, so almost got 25 laps in, but not quite at that marker.
this will cycle back up to where Carter comes out in the front after making, I do believe, his scheduled pits. Caleb and Campbell, then Joe. Then right behind him will be Josh, and then Taylor, then JP, and then their lonesome ranger out there, Tyler Myers. Alright, so I'm guessing it didn't save my settings. Okay. Must be single file. Oh well.
It's always kind of frustrating when it doesn't save settings. Doesn't matter what it is, but that's green flag back out in the air.
You see Caleb on the outside wall, going to clear himself from Jacob, just like that.
Yeah, not sure if Caleb just didn't set a qualifying lap or what, but he, if I'm not mistaken, he started in the back, so worked his way up through the field here. Now that he's in clean air, is he going to be able to drive away, or is Jacob going to be able to stay in tow with him? Jacob was, in a way, I guess, just trying to be polite, give him, some tips around here earlier in practice, but I don't truly think Caleb needs it, to be honest, but everybody overshooting or overdriving some corners. Jeff Taylor possibly, maybe with a restart violation with the rule settings here this evening, possibly could have got a penalty or something. He's coming down pit road. That for sure would have to be an unscheduled pit stop because we just seen everybody pit under the last caution, so not sure what that would be for.
So Jeff Taylor comes out right in front of Caleb Sellner. Jeff Taylor's very good. He's a very great person. Still a little bit getting used to the 87 side of things, but very good guy, very awesome to talk to, and but Caleb here will just now out front by second. So very short track, laps go by quick. We know this. I think it is I didn't even go over the information. There you go. Wow.
150 laps.
Yeah. 135. And that's the wrong stuff. That's oh well, anyway, it don't matter. It's a 0.5 mile track, so half a mile. I forgot to set all that up last night when I was on. So JP covered in that P4. Tyler Myers is off again there in the grass. Down off the track. Solo spin, he's going to go, I do believe, toe back or pit, whatever one of the two that he's at. But Caleb Sellner, Jacob Carter, Joe Stipe, your top three. Followed by JP, Chris Campbell, Josh Small, Jeff Taylor. And Will, I do believe you will be in the booth this weekend, from what I heard. So it'll always be good to have you there too.
Yes, indeed. This Saturday.
Yeah, but it'll be you and Chris over on the 105 Studios broadcast. He wants you back again, so that is awesome. I like to hear that. So he says you and him are great, and you bring a lot of knowledge to him, and you help him out with a lot. So it's always good to hear, and that's what I like to hear. So.
As Chris Kamari our guy that we our Saturday broadcaster. Yes.
Yeah, and you guys will be should be live when we head to the Coliseum. They want to do a little thing, so I guess you guys will be calling the shots over there. So it's always an honor to have you and appearance, so everybody enjoys it. So we're gonna try to keep that going for quite a while. So
Closest battle on track at the moment. Jacob Carter, Joe Stipe, second and third. They are just over 3.5 seconds back to race leader Caleb Sellner in the 99 machine.
yep, and as you see here, Will, Joe Stipe creeping up on blah blah blah. Sorry, Jacob. Wonder if something's going wrong with Jacob's machine there, or do you see there he's getting a little loose, so he's doing a lot of wheeling and dealing. Those brakes look a little hot, so he probably can't get that car to stop when he needs to.
Yeah, he's struggling on the entry of the corners, which is making him slide on the exit here. We've been seeing it the past couple of laps. Big slide here out of him the most recent lap here, so now falling into the clutches of Pearson there, and the 13 machine disguised as the Levi Garrett 5, so...
Uh-oh. Oh, there you go, he's back.
I wasn't sure where he went there for a moment, but that gap has now opened up to just over 4 seconds of a lead to second place Joe Stipe, which we have seen Joe run really good here in the past at North Wilkesboro. Either he gets kind of taken out of an incident of his own doing or something not of his own doing, so just a matter of wait and see if Joe can actually come away from North Wilkesboro with an actually good run or not. Gonna have to wait and see what Lady Luck has in store. No, but he's able to keep it going, able to control the car. Didn't seem like he hit the inside guardrail. He just got down, mowed the grass a little bit, so everything looks to be fine on that Monte Carlo.
Closing in on 100 laps to go here. But Joe always does good on the short tracks. He's gotten a little bit better with that, so that's always good to see him do good. And Jacob and Caleb did win last week. So
well, he's kind of looking to go back to back here. I think he's kind of got a few races chained along here, if I'm not mistaken. So
he's just pacing himself, and he's got almost a 6-second gap over second, so he can just really just put the clutch in for a few laps. You see here they're coming up on Josh here. See Josh in the wall, getting out the way, letting 12 go by. But now he sees Caleb right there. His brakes ain't glowing as much as all the other ones are, that's for sure.
Caleb really pacing himself, it would look like here. Still about 50 laps in, so only got really 100 laps to go here, so not quite at the halfway point. Still about 25 more of those to go until we get to the halfway point.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're taking laps down and just goes and goes. on a small track like this. Caleb's in turns 2, coming out of 2, while P2 is coming out of 2 now. So as Caleb goes into turns 3 and 4, and coming out now second is in turns 3 and 4. So a little bit of a gap in between both of them.
Jacob now trying to run back down Joe.
It just seems like he can't get to Joe the way Joe got by him. I don't know if his car is starting to get too tight or...
I was going to say, it seems like the second time of asking to fire off, you know, these machines on a restart just doesn't seem like it was there for Jacob.
And as we say that, look, he's now getting closer and closer to Joe. So he must have figured something out. He probably let Joe cook up some of his stuff, and then maybe he saved enough to get on. Saved enough to get on by him. That's where I was trying to get with this, and sliding that rear ain't gonna help either.
Yeah, he's really sliding that car sideways.
Like that rear was sliding out from him. Too much throttle coming off, like that, a little bit. With these cars, you gotta ease on it. Don't full mash down on the gas with how heavy these type of cars are. But just about an 8-second lead from Caleb to Joe. And almost a 9-second lead from Jacob to Caleb. So you see here, Caleb now is hitting somewhat of lap traffic, but he's probably just cruising at the moment, so as he looks to try to get by Campbell, as he will, Campbell will let him go.
You gotta remember, Taylor came on for what we believe to be some type of unscheduled, possibly restart violation due to just the settings not being saved for the race, possibly. We not fully sure, so you see them trying to navigate by the Taylor machine, but Taylor, he still has good run built up, good momentum in that bottom lane. He's not completely a lap down. He is on the tail end of the lead lap. He's struggling, fighting, hoping, praying, clawing for a caution at any moment in time, and he not be a part or a member of the caution. Because he would definitely be back on the lead lap, guarantee indeed. Campbell, though, right behind him and behind the race leader. Campbell, really probably licking his chops because he would definitely get a lap back because of the settings here this evening, unfortunately, but that's just how it would probably go. Oh, and you see Jacob, how many more times is Jacob going to keep able to have a wheel on that car, saving it from sliding out of control?
I don't know, that rear looks a little loose. He might have took some brake bias out of it. That's causing him to lose the rear. Coming to lap 65, right? Or 64.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it was 65. Almost. Now it'll be 65. There you go. But how much more is that rear gonna hold up on Jacob before it finally gives away?
You can just see the struggles are so real here at North Wilkesboro. What the drivers are, combating with, having to fight and struggle with, going through these corners, trying to let it roll. You got to get the car to pivot, dive cut how you want it to through the corner. And these walls, the exits kind of narrow up so quickly, especially coming out of turn 2. So, got to be oh so careful. Turn 4, it seems like a wide exit, but just how the racing line goes back up, towards the wall like it does, just so. Now,
Yet again,
Pearson.
Old surface, not the new
Oh,
one.
yes, indeed.
To where the new one is repaved, a lot more smoother. So they'll eventually get it up to par. Eventually, I guess, whenever they have the time to go back there to do a rescan of the track. So maybe next update, who knows? We'll see. But only time will tell. So.
Gonna say here, Jason Pearson now kind of stalking Joe Stipe, just kind of waiting in the wings, perhaps, just biding his time, riding.
So
Joe's really driving a good race here. Yep, 70 laps in the books like he talked about. About to be 5 more away from halfway here, so.
JP letting it roll through the turns. Letting the nose plant. It does look like these guys are going slow, but I don't believe that they are, so. But you have to let it roll so much to where you can get it to set. When you feel it catch, then you can get it back on the throttle to where you need it. And I think that's the struggles that Jacob's having at the moment. It's not.
I would assume Martinsville and North Wilkesboro, I would assume, would have to be the two slowest tracks on the circuit that these cars would have ever went to.
Yes, I would have to agree with you. Surprised we didn't get more beating and banging yet, but time will tell. Drivers are hanging on for everything they got. So Taylor ended up going a lap down, so.
Yeah, he put up the good fight as long as he could, but then had to finally just kind of relinquish away to the race leader, so.
We now hit the halfway point of this race, and Caleb's still out front. Josh and Deidre are going 2 laps down. I believe Caleb did take, Campbell did take some fresh tires there. As he gets by Caleb. Now we know Josh is hoping for a caution to play out in his favor. But it still wouldn't make a difference because Jeff Taylor is 1 lap down. So
But Jason Pearson back on the foottails of Joe here for second place. Caleb, or not Caleb, but Jacob still battling, hanging on to that car in fourth position. He's on the tail end of Pearson. So second, third, and fourth right there in the same picture shot. Selner, he's got a very comfortable lead. Just
Very
over
comfortable
8.5 seconds back to Joe.
You see JP, well, he gets a great run off, letting it roll in so much compared to Joe, where he could be dealing with some tight conditions of that car. Sorry, my dog's going crazy.
Jason really attacks 1 and 2, drives it in there a bit deeper. They're kind of equal, I would say, for the most part in 3 and 4, but he really attacks 1 and 2 here, setting the car almost in the middle of the track. So, looks like he's going to have to try maybe to attempt to go around the outside. He's going to look, but really drives it up the embankment in 3 and 4. Gonna have to try a couple of laps from now. He lost a little bit of pace to Joe after he drove it up the hill.
JP's a very good driver. He's very consistent. Great character. Great to have on board, and all these drivers are great. I like them all. I like the different driving styles by most of the guys we have here, and some could be just better than others, but that's the widespread of field that we have. As you see here, Will, JP ever so slightly closer to Joe, which is now getting Jacob Carter even closer to them. So now we'll just have to see how this plays out.
Yeah, 3-car battle for second position here. Like we talked about, second, third, and fourth here. Jacob in fourth position, really fighting an ailing car. It's a handful for him to handle at the moment, that's for sure. But Joe really kind of probably burnt his stuff up here, trying to hold back, Pearson, now Carter. So he stayed in second position for quite some time here. He looks to be probably the favorite for maybe a podium finish, but getting mauled up here by Pearson and Carter as they look to have just a bit better long-run capable car than Joe.
Oh yeah. I'm starting to now think that Jacob's car is now starting to come to him now, to where
yes, finally,
he can start making the moves.
Those tires finally got heated up and able to stop sliding it around so much. He was basically fishtailing coming out of these corners, and you never want to do that with these cars. Not too much. You do it too much, and you start getting some hospital hopping going, and you never want that. So,
look, just as we said that, his rear started to slide out for him again.
Turning into a decent battle here for second place between the two of them.
See there? A little loosey-goosey there. Which, by the way, is supposed to be the 88, but it's a 54. You see there, Jacob's going to try to make the pass on the inside. JP hanging strong on the outside. Jacob does get clear of JP. And now these two will now see if they can keep it close, or who is going to get away from who. As you see there, Jacob is flirting with that apron a little bit too much. It's eventually gonna bite him on the tuchus if he hits it too much, and could possibly collect JP or now maybe Josh.
Yeah, that's for sure, Brian. You know, you gotta be able to, control your racecraft, control your race cars. So Josh, though, now out of the way of these two, battling for second and third. Jason trying to stay now within reason of Jacob, as Jacob getting back into second position here. Just 11 and a half seconds back from the race leader, Caleb Sellner.
Oh yeah. So as they cross the line now, Caleb is now entering turns 3. So you can see the big difference in that massive gap that's between Caleb and Jacob. About 12 seconds. See there, Joe rocking the Levi Garrett paint scheme. So you see Joe wash up there, but keeps it off the wall. Does a great job with that. Almost coming to 100 laps to go. I mean, the 100 lap mark. Sorry, it ain't no 100 laps to go. So Caleb Sellner is ever so slightly starting to close in on Joe Will. He's not that far behind them, so I'd say within the next lap or two he will get to Joe. So 50 laps to go here tonight.
Yeah, I believe Campbell has fresh tires. I think he pitted not too long ago. It says he's 2 laps down, but like I said, I believe he has fresh tires. He pitted shortly after we went back green, if I'm not mistaken, from our first caution. So he fell 2 laps down, and I think he's on a different strategy or different tire strategy than the rest of everybody. So just have to wait and see where it plays out for him.
Yeah. So 47 to go.
47 laps to go, and 4 cars currently on the lead lap as Joe Stite pits. So now there's only going to be 3 cars on the lead lap as Joe pits.
And JP
That's going to
the pits.
We are seeing live action green flag scheduled pit stops. I wonder how's this going to relate as far as Campbell goes. Campbell and Josh, remember, if I'm not mistaken, they both pitted earlier. Just have to wait and see where they might be able to cycle out at.
So 45 laps to go. So now Joe got his freshies and now he's ready to go. My boy, it feels like ever so. Feels like these cars was going so slow.
And it feels like it wasn't even not too long ago since we started this race, so time really flies. The laps really get knocked down when the action is green here at North Wilkesboro, so
Yep, still green, still going. Caleb Selner, I think now is about to catch Josh. Or is that Joe? There's too many JS's.
right?
He's going to catch Josh. Carter's now in the pits. Oh, Caleb now comes in.
We got CC out there closed captioning. I'm kidding, that's Christopher Campbell.
So some of these guys are going to attempt to get back onto the lead lap. They took advantage of those fresh good years, and now they are ready to set the pace all over again. Excuse me. 40 laps to go. Now 39, so laps are ticking away. These drivers are about to. Oh, what a save! Oh man.
Oh, it was almost a save, but he still made some contact over the inside wall, trying to gather it up.
Fortunately, nothing JP can do, but now you see Taylor going to get passed by Caleb.
Now we got a couple of our cars back on the lead lap, 5 in total now. So Joe Stipe back on the lead lap, Carter in 4th position, Pearson in 3rd, Jeff Taylor in 2nd, coming out of the pits, or not out of the pits, but just on those old tires. And Caleb Selner retaking the lead, so Campbell probably going to be in the pits for a little bit longer, or maybe even finish the race out like that. Don't know if he's going to DNF or not at the moment, but that was he almost had it under control. But like you said, Jason, he was kind of committed already there. He had checked up and then got back in the throttle. Just missed timing, unfortunate. They were both trying to keep it straight. But really, like you said, nothing Jason could really do in that instance, as Jacob really can blocking it out for these corners.
You saw that? Yeah, that was like very far off in the back. You see Jacob just slipping that rear. He's got good speed. Absolutely, he does. Because look, he ran back down JP. So, excuse me, speed's not an issue for Mr. Carter. It's just keeping that racecraft from underneath him. I think he has a lap or two fresher tires than him. So 118 of 150 in the books.
Yeah, closing in on just a quarter remaining in this race. When we get to 125, we'll just have 25 laps to go. Five cars currently on the lead lap. Joe Stipe, the last car on the lead lap. In that danger zone, that threshold of going back a lap down. Just a couple of seconds back from Joe would be the race leader, Caleb Sellner. So,
Yeah, 5 more laps. We'll close in on a quarter to go. So it's gonna be interesting. You see Chris Campbell, Jeff Taylor there. Jacob Carter ever so slightly starting to close in on Jeff Taylor. You see here,
yeah, just a few seconds.
And poor Joe, having a great run, and then maybe a mishap on maybe a pit or whatever.
Well, Joe's still having a pretty good run. You know, still a top 5 run for him at the moment. Never know, something could happen to one of the, to one of the 4 runners in front of him, and could gain a position or 2. Never can tell.
See there now, Josh Small back, now making his pit stop, coming halfway.
So Carter coming into the reaches of Jeff Taylor for that second position. Second and third about to go at it here, we do believe. Carter, like I said, reeling in Taylor. Campbell has passed Josh, like he said. Josh coming into the pits. And Jeff Taylor, these really old tires here.
Hurting a little bit.
Relinquishing
maybe
that second place. Yeah, you think he can? He's got 4 seconds back, and he'll have Jason there coming at him.
Then you have Josh on a freshie, so.
Oh, Josh is about 5 laps down. I don't think no one's worried about him, Brad.
Yeah, you're right. But maybe riding side by side with him for a while could get him to stall out a little bit. And that will lure in JP, so. Time will tell. See Jeff Taylor going high. Go ahead, Josh. You're a lot faster, but looking back at that 12 car, JP's right there, ever so slightly closing in on Jeff Taylor. $20 to go. Does Jacob have what it takes to get to Caleb? I don't think so. Caleb got a big lead. Or does a caution come out and bunches them closer? 19 laps to go. You see there, JP now gets by Jeff.
So Jeff Taylor loses a podium position here. Four cars remaining on the lead lap, 18 seconds in total back from the race leader. So Jeff Taylor may finish this race a lap down. He really tried some type of wacky old tire strategy, that's for sure, but just wasn't able to make it last to stay in a podium finishing position, but possibly trying to finish on the lead lap if he can.
I don't believe that's what he's going to try to do. Good run by Josh here and there. Struggle a little bit, but he likes to drive all different types of cars, just to get the feel for it. And he ended up doing a few races over here, so I was talking to them earlier. They're all excited to get the season kicked off next week. So it's going to be a good one, so we'll have to wait and find out. See who gets it done, Will, and what kind of racing is going to be provided to us when they go to Daytona on Tuesday. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Brian, Daytona, as we know, always sure to be exciting. Always has some good finishes normally. Always see some chaotic, racing or wrecks, that style of racing produces. So.
Always.
But, we still have a race and a half, might as well say, one race to go. This race only has, 10 laps or so to go left in it, so hopefully if iRacing wants to let us keep viewing it, so we got to finish. Really don't want to be like Cody Rhodes and got to say finish the story. Got to finish this little winter season out first here, 87 series, and like you said, we'll be kicking things back off this coming up weekend this Saturday with a clash on the Saturday side of things to kind of kick off the BNR racing season again.
A little quarter-mile track that they ran last weekend, and then the Sunday's the Super Bowl, so a lot of things going on in the month of February. So these drivers had a pretty good 3 to 4 months off, or no, I'll say about 3. They were all excited to get back out there, and
2.5 months, Brian.
There you go. Okay. But 6 laps to go, Will. Coming to 5, I do believe.
That's 5 laps remaining.
Nope, not yet.
Oh, okay.
I keep forgetting how far back they are from Caleb. Now it's 5 laps to go.
Didn't really get to play a drinking game tonight. Not too many cautions, but whenever you only have 9 people to start, you can't really play those games.
Now I think you'll be able to do that on Tuesday for but I feel it'll be heavily packed for Daytona. So, hey, oh, there goes Jacob, sliding that rear out of him underneath of him again.
But he kept it off of Josh, so Josh will probably be thankful for that.
Absolutely he will. Coming to 3 laps to go here in about now. So, at least good to have some guys show up. A lot of them are in the process of moving. I wish Brock Pate some safe travels wherever he's moving to, and hopefully everything gets better for you in that process. So, 2 to go. Next time by will be the final lap, Will.
Yeah, overall, a really great race here in North Wilkesboro. You know, you had Jacob Carter, the pole sitter, kind of pull out to a little promising lead early on. Then we had that early caution, wound up. Everybody bunched them back up, and once Caleb got that clean air, he never looked away since, and he's going to dominate this race and win here tonight at North Wilkesboro, Brian.
Yes, sir. Back-to-back first places for Caleb. Good run by everybody. Doing the best to stay out the way, and it's good racing by most of them. Huh. Caleb's like, all right, I'm staying off. I want to give the fans a little close-up here.
Yeah, he's really taking the scenic route to victory lane. It's actually quite a handful of tracks in iRacing where you can kind of cut through and, you know, go to victory lane, or you can kind of almost go to the garage area.
There's your race results. Wow.
So Caleb Sellner, why am I having such a hard time pronouncing his last name tonight? I have no idea. Yeah, you took the graphic away from us, Brian.
No, it did it itself.
Oh. Darn you, SDK.
Right. Hopefully it'll pop back up. I needed to reload. As you see there, Caleb and Jacob having some fun. I'm guessing doesn't like us now.
And Caleb has blown his engine.
Alright, we're going to rally these troops up and we will return with them here in just a brief moment. Anyway, we'll go ahead and talk to our P3 finisher, JP. Hopefully it'll kick it back. JP, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
How's it going, sir?
It's going pretty good now. Shoulder's killing me.
Yeah, I would say you guys were duking it out a bit there, for sure. Overall, I would say a pretty good finish for you after starting in the back. Trying to avoid as much as you could avoid. Why don't you go ahead and give an overall of how the car felt, how tough it was to navigate the track. Well, what was the tricky parts of tonight's race, and we'll just start off with that.
Well, it's been a long night. I took all advantage of the whole hour of practice, trying to get familiarized with the track, take that into the race, and I was kind of wanting the EOL because I didn't want to kind of mess anybody up, but I guess they forgot to give me one, so I started in fourth, and I couldn't believe I was actually running with the top three there till Jacob took off. But yeah, I was hanging with them there pretty much. It's tough coming out of them turns and feathering the throttle and just keeping it on a good rhythm, lap after lap, and trying to be consistent with turn 1 and 2, different from 3 and 4. But it's more of a mind game, and the track will beat you to death.
Oh yes, absolutely. Next week, y'all head to Michigan, which is the final race of the season. What is going to be your mindset going into Michigan? I do believe it's Old Michigan.
Just focusing on the draft. I just want to stay with the draft, hopefully. Have a good, clean race. Have wide open turns. Maybe we'll get 2 and 3 wide, and just hopefully we'll have a great race out of it. I'm looking forward to speed, man. Just good old super speedway racing.
Yes, sir. I agree with you as well. Michigan can also provide some very good racing, some very tight racing. But, Will, do you have anything for JP?
Yes, Jason. Congratulations tonight on the good podium finish. But how much of it was kind of a struggle? You know, Wilkesboro short track mentality, but also we didn't really see too many cautions tonight. So you guys had really, after that incident, lap 20, I believe it was. The rest of the way was caution free. So, you said you were pretty tired. Just kind of explain how excruciating that basically almost the whole race was almost caution free.
Well, I think everybody was just pretty much, they was pretty on the edge. I mean, you can just tell when you get it, like dirty air will definitely push your car in the turns, and just trying to make a pass cleanly. And just the way the bumps are in the turns and even on the straightaways. I mean, if you got your force feedback up on a good wheel, I'm telling you, it'll wear you out. It'll wear you down. But I think after about 20 laps, whenever the tires started giving way, I mean, you could really tell everybody's fighting the car. I mean, it's like right on the edge, especially in turn 4. Turn 4 was killer. But that's good old North Wilkesboro for you. With the banking, it will help you out here and there, I think, with a good brake bias going on, combination. But other than that, it's just, I don't think the 87 was actually belong there. That ain't my cup of tea, if you know what I mean.
Indeed, Jason. Well, it looked like you guys had some fun, nevertheless, out there whenever you guys were battling and out there racing. So next week, the final race of the season, like we talked about in Michigan. So hopefully it'll be fun, nevertheless. And best of luck to you next week in Michigan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. And looking forward to see you out there Saturday if you are there. If not, then get ready for next week to fully kick off everything. So,
Oh, I'll
best
be
of luck
here.
to you.
Yes, sir.
One big holler out for you. Hoo hoo.
Oh, oh, oh.
There you
Big
go, buddy.
dog.
That's right. All right, bub. We'll check you out in a bit.
Y'all have a great night.
You too. Bring Caleb up. Jacob stepped away for the moment. Mr. Caleb,
Hello.
how's it going, sir?
It's going pretty good.
Well, back-to-back wins for you. You won last week at Milwaukee Mile. You end up winning it again here tonight. Jacob did start off with a tight pull away into the first caution. Then you got up in the front and ended up pulling away with that and stood up in the front for a majority of it. So to me, that seemed like your car was very good anywhere on the track.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Late in the run, it was very tight, so you had to really change the brake bias really rearwards. Unfortunately, Jacob on the first restart looked like he got loose, and old tires didn't help him there.
How difficult would you say it was to finesse around lap cars? The side-by-side battles, like how did it really affect the car as much as like a normal next-gen car or whatever like that? And then how difficult was it to get slowed down enough and not worry about getting ran over by the guy behind you to make your pit stop?
Really, the first question there, I didn't really feel too much difference following anybody. I didn't really feel any difference with anybody behind me. But working through traffic was pretty tough, having to try to diamond off the corner so that you can get a good run to get to the inside there on them, or brake later than they did to pass them on the high side. And then for the second question, can you run that one by me again really quickly? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I threw a lot at you. How difficult was it to finesse through the traffic with the car? Did you have to use more of your tires up or less to get through?
I feel like if you decided to ride behind them, you could save a lot more tire, but it did take a lot of tire to get past them. So unless you were riding behind them for probably a good 15-20 laps, then it probably wouldn't be worth it for saving tires.
Right. Then the last question to that was, how difficult was it to, because I know you guys made a couple of green flag pit stops, how difficult was it out of coming into turns 3 and then braking very quick to, I don't know what the speed limit was, at 25, 30?
35.
35. So going from like 108 to 110 into the turn down to 35. How difficult was it, and trying to worry about not getting ran over by the next driver pulling into the pits?
You see, I had called my pit stop out hoping that the person behind me would not run me over, but I played it pretty cautiously going into getting into the pits. Unfortunately, I overshot my box there onto the green flag stop. Didn't realize it for a couple seconds, but turned out didn't hurt too much.
I think a few drivers did that. Overshot the pit box. Really couldn't catch a majority of them. Well, you got anything for Caleb?
Caleb, next week. Congratulations on the win, by the way.
Thank you.
Pretty good short track dominance by you after you got the clean air from old spin wheels Jacob McGee. Anyway, but next week, Michigan, final race of this 87 little season here, and what's your thoughts and everything about the season that you kind of came in here about what would you say, about halfway through?
Yeah.
Anyway, and Michigan. So, final thoughts also about the race, but Michigan next week.
This season so far has been pretty good. I felt like I've been pretty good through most of the season. Haven't really had a weakness I've felt anywhere. Wish I would have gotten on board earlier. Might have had a chance for championship, but didn't happen. Past is in the past. But Michigan next week, it's going to be fun. High speed, basically almost Daytona, but a lot more finesse, a lot more tire saving. You gotta be easy on the throttle there. Super slick.
Yeah, you're almost like Bobby Allison or David Pearson. Like, you got to complete a full season, bud. Got to stop being part time. Got to put a full season together.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, to be fair, they did run full seasons at certain points in their careers, but you know they were mostly notable for at that certain stage in their career. You know, they were like, you know, that guy that comes in, runs like a limited amount of schedule, and then, you know, wins a lot while he's doing it. But yeah, like it's always cool to see you, whether you're part-time in it or able to be full-time, however you can come in and race. Love seeing you, man. You're always a threat. Doesn't matter what track it is. Like, you are a contender, and that's always scary for the other guys, you know, that are having to put up with you. I know, but yeah, I think if you kind of probably could have came in a lot sooner, like you for sure would have been probably dealing with the championship. But like you said, that's, you know, that is what it is at that point. So maybe, you know, coming in that this next BNR season, he might be able to snag some more wins from some people. So just have to wait and see. But yeah, Brian, back to you, I guess. You know, I'm kind of done messing with Caleb.
Well, sir, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Hey, no problem. Wow, you only got one incident.
Yeah, that was after the race too.
I know that you went through the cutting that little grass there.
Had to give those fans a little close up, you know.
And that's what I was telling Will. Like, you're probably giving those ones who were stuck behind the guardrail, they barely could probably see anything, and probably that took you guys 52 minutes. But anyway, good run. Any shout outs or anything you want to give?
As always, my dad for getting me into this league, you guys for hosting, you know, everybody on BNR that helps keep things clean, everybody for running, and a new addition this time. Thank you for Shandy's, the greatest music store in all of the Midwest.
Hey, there you go. If you are
Oh, is
there,
it still a record store? You can go in and buy records, like you can get album, like
Yeah,
vinyl,
you can get CDs, vinyls. I think you have
Cassettes?
cassettes there.
8-tracks, 45s.
I wouldn't put it past them. Shandy's
all
has
right.
everything.
Anything music and gotcha.
From metal to country to jazz, he's got it all.
I love those. I love still hearing, you know, those music shops still, you know, kicking. You know, you can't keep hard copy down. You know, I don't care what it is, whether digital. It's the most convenient way to get it still. But man, like nothing beats that nostalgia of whether putting a vinyl record on a record player, or putting a CD into a CD player, like hearing an album from, you know, the first track to the last. Like, nothing beats that.
No, it's just got something special to it.
Indeed.
That's all I have for shout outs.
nah, you're good, buddy. If you are there Saturday, looking forward to see you out there Saturday. If not, then we'll catch you next week, and we'll chit chat in a few.
Yep.
All right. Hopefully, Carter's back. We'll get you back up there. I'll let you take this one away. Carter. There he is. He's here.
Yeah, I'm here.
So, Jacob, you qualified on the pole, and then a caution came out. You had a good lead. Caution came out, and then you lost your mojo. What happened?
Oh, everybody took tires, and I didn't. And
Oh, you didn't, man. That was a bold call there, Cotton, and it did not work.
Thanks, Will. Thanks.
You're welcome.
No.
You should have took. Man, you really feel like Brandon whenever Brandon didn't take tires at Mid Ohio, and
yeah.
who was it? Okay, was it? Anyway,
Dave.
Yeah, Dave. Anyway, yeah, like, man, what a shame. Why didn't you? Like, what was were you thinking more cautions, or what was the madness behind not taking tires there?
Not really, like, thinking there was more caution. Just kind of conserve just in case there was a caution. But I also didn't realize that 20 laps on these tires are useless at that point. So, you know, I went in, looked at my tires, 96, 96, 94, 90. So I was like, okay, they're still good, you know. I was still running decent. It literally felt like someone set a brick on top of the car and said, here you go. It was a dumpster fire. It literally pushed through the corners everywhere. Then it'll be okay for a little bit. Then it'll do it again. And then it'll be loose again. And then it'll be okay. So, it was just an emotional roller coaster with this freaking thing.
Yeah, we really saw you struggling, like you were really drifting it, giving it that old Ken Black, Travis Pastrana, what for, coming off the corners, but, you know, you finally got it straightened back out, and you managed to drive back up into second, but, yeah, we didn't know what was transpired. We didn't know if you just fired off bad, got a bad set of tires. We didn't know. We thought everybody took tires there, but glad we know now we know the rest of the story, as old, what was his name? He was a radio show guy. He would say, now you know the rest of the story. Man, what was his name? I never can think of his name whenever I want to. But anyway, yes. Yeah, that's interesting, Jacob, that you just thought that you would be kind of good. You know, you kind of thought maybe another caution might happen. You could dive back in, get the tires, but it never came to fruition. Talk about, being out there as long as you were. You know, about 20 laps into the race, you had a caution, and then at that point on, it's like 100 and basically 20 laps at that point, about 130 green flag after that, or about 125, right? So,
Yeah,
you know,
like
yeah, okay, Jacob. So, next week, Michigan, final race of the season. It looks like I'm assuming now that you showed up and Brock just unfortunately not able to finish out the season, I guess. Looks like you might be able, as far as I know, you might be able to have the championship in the bag here. So, what's the hopes, ambitions, and everything? You know, looking forward to closing out the season next week at Michigan.
Honestly, this whole year it's the start of the year and it's already been bad. So, just we're going to keep our heads high, come back here next week, finish it off with a championship, and we're going to return to the B&R Cup and Truck Series, and we're going to bust our asses going out there and making sure we're going to at least be podium finish or at least the Final Four in the next couple races. But we got a lot of work to do mentally and physically, and hopefully everything will turn out good.
All right, Jacob. Well, thanks for talking to us here this evening. Congratulations on the podium finish, that P2 there tonight. Best of luck to you next week at Michigan and moving forward in the rest of the BNR series going forward. So, yeah, kind of hard to say that without adding like a Z at the end of BNR Racing Series. Anyway, that's kind of a mouthful, you know. But anyway, yes, Jacob, like I said, congratulations. And any final thoughts, shout outs, anything else you'd like to add?
Shout out for y'all coming out here and watching this pitiful race that I call a pitiful race. But also want to thank my little boy sitting over here, want to sit in my lap, and just
Oh, Aiden.
yep, just gonna break your fingers. But he's been my backup. He's been the one that I've been thinking about all through this little terrible time. And if it wasn't for my kids, I wouldn't know what I'll be doing. So just thank them.
Sarah, as we
Well,
say,
Jake-
keep your head high and try to fight through whatever going through. It's not an easy roll.
No, but we'll I got a lot of people got my back, so I'll make it to the end for sure.
Absolutely. Well, you go spend time with the little man. If you're still in Discord, chatting with everybody, we'll see you there. But spend as much time as you can with the little man and try to enjoy the rest of your night to the best that you can.
Alrighty, guys. I'll see y'all later.
All right, buddy.
Later, Jacob.
Well, that will do it for tonight's festivities here. Overall, I would say great race. One caution. Would have thought there might have been a little bit more, but fortunately there wasn't. So that's why I said overall great run, I would say.
Yeah, overall great run. Can't wait for next week at Michigan to close out the season here in the '87 like Winter Madness Series season here, and you know, moving forward to starting off the regular seasons of the Track and Cup. You know, going forward with this next season. So more to look forward to, indeed, Brian. So can't wait for it.
Yes, sir. So from myself, Brian Hunt, to Will Roberts, we thank you guys all for coming out here tonight. You can catch Will and Chris up in the booth, I do believe, Saturday, for when the BNR Cup side does their little class to kick the season off. It's everybody wanted, so give them what they want. So to the best that they can. So from everybody out there, be safe, enjoy, have a good night, love your families, keep them close. Anything, Will? No, just...